I told them I beat them there.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times regular people helped solve major crimes.
Just if you find anything else, just keep on calling us.
For this list, we're looking at criminal cases that were resolved due to exceptional investigative work by ordinary citizens. Which of these average Joes left you thoroughly impressed with their sleuth skills? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Margaret Davis solves her son's murder. A mother's love can certainly be the greatest love of all.
Only a mother will know what it feels like to lose a child. There's part of your soul that just goes out like that, and it's just filled with pain.
English software engineer Stephen Davis was murdered by gunmen in his Makati, Philippines apartment in July 2002. His mother, Margaret, had a hunch that her son's wife, Evelyn, was somehow involved in his death. While the police investigation stalled and eventually turned cold, Margaret spent thousands of dollars hiring a private investigator. With all the evidence gathered from Margaret's investigation, the police gave the case a second look.
Margaret's investigator carried out 24-hour surveillance on Evelyn. There were two men who paid regular visits to her home. One was Evelyn's lover. The other, his friend, another security man.
It was ultimately discovered that Evelyn was having an affair with one of the gunmen and had masterminded the plot to have Stephen killed. This resulted in the conviction of Evelyn and all three gunmen in 2004.
I loved you. I loved you. He loved you. Your children loved you. And look what's happened.
Number 9. Jessica Maple and the Burglars. After her late great-grandmother's house was burgled and robbed of nearly all its furniture, 12-year-old Jessica Maple cracked the case by finding key clues the police completely missed. Although officers had concluded that the burglar must have had a key to enter the house, Jessica discovered broken garage windows covered in multiple fingerprints when she returned to the crime scene with her mom. Her investigation also turned up all of the missing furniture at a nearby pawn shop, whose owner identified the men who'd brought them in.
Why did you go to the pawn shop? Why would you go to the pawn shop?
Well, I thought to myself, since it's a bad economy, people are going to want money. So instead of keeping the furniture, pawn shops, they give you money for selling them their stuff.
Miss Maple didn't just stop there. She tracked down one of the burglars and got him to confess to the robbery. Talk about giving the cops a run for their money. Number 8. Car enthusiasts solve a hit and run. The community of readers on the automobile blogging site Jalopnik put their expansive car knowledge to the ultimate test in April of 2012, when 57-year-old Betty Wheeler lost her life in a hit and run. Hoping to get some help from the online community, police uploaded a picture of a small piece of metal they believed had broken off the vehicle in the collision. And Jalopnik readers got right on it. They linked the metal to an early 2000s Ford F-150 pickup in a matter of hours. They gave police a piece of information that was critical in identifying the driver and passenger of the vehicle. Both men were later arrested and convicted of felony hit and run. Number 7. Yakov German tracks down a kidnapper and killer. The disappearance of the young Libby Kletsky sent shockwaves through his Orthodox Jewish New York neighborhood.
This is every parent's nightmare, but this type of incident is extremely rare.
Those waves were certainly felt by Yakov German, a property manager who took it upon himself to find the missing boy. Yakov traced Libby's movements using surveillance footage from stores and houses on his school route. This ended with footage from a car leasing company showing Libby getting picked up by Levi Aaron, a man from the same neighborhood.
We see somebody opening a door, kid going in, closing the door, a gold car. We see him from the other camera, going back to the front of the car, going into a seat, and we see the car going out.
Yakov's efforts led the police to the perpetrator. Police found only remains upon Aaron's arrest.
Just 2 days after Libby disappeared, thousands of Hasidic Jews from across America gathered in Brooklyn to grieve the devastating and unthinkable loss of one of their own.
Number 6. A Klansman gets his comeuppance. In 1964, two 19-year-old African-American students in Mississippi, Charles Eddie Moore and Henry Hezekiah D., were abducted and drowned. The police investigation was allegedly clouded by their prejudice, and the case was closed after a few months. Some 40 years later, Moore's brother Thomas teamed up with a documentary filmmaker. They tracked down the man responsible for the killings, James Ford Seal, who was initially reported dead.
Their case did not come to the forefront like the New Yorkers, civil rights workers. Yeah. Ben Cheney was also amongst them, but the people they really wanted to solve the crime for was Schwerner and Goodman. Yeah. They didn't have the Dean Moore case didn't have the benefit of those people associated with the case. So I took it up and found Thomas after about a year of looking for him.
Thomas's and producer David Ridgen's discovery allowed the case to be reopened, resulting in Seal's arrest and conviction by a federal jury. He was sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms and died in prison in 2011. Number 5. Celia Blay catches an internet predator. William Melchert Dinkle, a 47-year-old nurse from Minnesota, frequently posed as a 20-something-year-old woman in online chat rooms. He encouraged young, depressed adults to take their own lives, sometimes for his viewing pleasure. William's scheme was discovered by Celia Blay, a pensioner from England. Blay struck up a conversation with a teenager online and learned that she was being goaded by William.
Sometimes it's a serious and helpful and supportive site. Other times, there are people deliberately trying to push others over the edge.
Celia devised a plan with the teenager and was able to collect evidence against William, with which she convinced U.S. authorities to lay charges. He was stripped of his nursing license and sentenced to jail time for assisting and attempting to assist in the deaths of 2 people.
William Melchert Dinkle had to come to this courthouse 5 minutes from his house to face the allegations. All because a woman thousands of miles away wouldn't give up.
Number 4. Bradley Willman and the predatory judge. In the late 1990s, Canadian private investigator Bradley Willman developed a Trojan horse disguised as a picture file, which he posted on several websites frequented by predators. Once downloaded, the file gave him unfettered access to the individual's computer. This allowed him to pore over their emails and other documents, then turn over important information to watchdog groups. His work culminated in the arrest of Ronald Klein, a California Superior Court judge who had an abundance of damning evidence on his computer. Klein was disbarred and sentenced to 27 months in prison. Number 3. The murder of Abraham Shakespeare. For Abraham Shakespeare, winning a $30 million lottery was unfortunately the beginning of his troubles.
Shakespeare bought himself that new car, fancy new house, and lots more. But as so often happens, this lotto winner's drama didn't stick to the script. That's because the money also brought unwanted attention.
He started a private business with Doris Dee Moore, who took control of his finances. A few months later, Moore killed Shakespeare and buried him under a concrete slab behind her house. As the case garnered attention, users of the internet crime forum Web Sleuths started digging.
In the beginning, we thought he was missing, that he was hiding away. As the investigation continues, the evidence mounts that he could have died because of sinister means.
Murder, we're talking here.
Could be.
They found that Moore had opened a fake account on the website to divert suspicion away from herself. The amateur sleuths were able to trace the IP address of the fake account back to Moore's personal computer, aiding investigators. Moore was found guilty of killing Shakespeare and received a life sentence.
Cold, calculated, cruel, they all apply. Manipulative, probably the most manipulative person that this court has seen.
Number 2. Michelle McNamara's hunt for the Golden State Killer.
He was like a Hannibal Lecter, highly intelligent, highly sadistic, master manipulator.
Joseph James D'Angelo, infamously known as the Golden State Killer, was responsible for the deaths of at least 13 people. However, the hunt for his identity would go on to claim one more life, that of Michelle McNamara. McNamara, a true crime writer, grew up fascinated with unsolved mysteries and later zeroed in on a string of cold cases that took place in California in the 70s and 80s. Her unyielding investigation turned up a library's worth of evidence.
I'm so sad and full of self-doubt, and then I'm not. Where can this all lead?
To deal with the stress, she started taking a cocktail of prescription drugs, which led to her accidental death. However, her work revived interest in the case and ultimately led law enforcement to D'Angelo.
Police say the 72-year-old appeared surprised when they swarmed his home Tuesday evening.
No incident? He didn't say it wasn't me or anything like that?
No, really no conversation at all.
Number 1. The murder of Jin Lin. Before this case became about the murder of Jin Lin, it revolved around a couple of Facebook videos that portrayed acts of animal cruelty carried out by an unidentified man.
And so I was on Facebook one day and I found a post. A lot of people have been feverishly posting about a video that was online.
A group of online sleuths began investigating and were able to identify the man in the videos as Luca Magnotta. Magnotta later lured Lin, a university student in Canada, over to his apartment, where he murdered him and uploaded a video online.
It was no longer a game of online, this was real world.
The sleuth group was able to link that video to the ones involving animals and share their information with the authorities. A few weeks later, Magnotta was arrested.
They finally caught him. And it was just like the perfect way for Luca to go down. Luca was caught in an internet cafe because he couldn't stay away from his vanity.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.